The answer is yes. If you're an athlete, you should be training in season. And yes, if you're a coach, your athletes should be training in season. In this video, I'm going to go through the three main themes of in-season training, as well as some examples of a real-life in-season speed training session with one of my athletes. The three reasons are the three themes. Number one, you got to keep it consistent. Number two, what is the goal? And the goal is maintenance and maybe even making some gains in season. And number three is, what do they need? What are they missing? What do you need? What are you missing from being in season? So in this warm-up, we kept it short, we kept it consistent, and this does a few things for us. By keeping it consistent, we're keeping the soreness down, right? Because we're not introducing new stimuli, the muscles working in new ranges of motion that they haven't before. We're also keeping the volume down. This is a 1 hour speed workout that I condensed into 45 minutes with part of that taking out of the warm-up, right? So we keep it consistent, we keep the volume down, we keep the soreness down, and the last main keep to go with this theme is it keeps the main thing, right? You train all off season, all preseason to be in season, right? That's why we're all here, to ball out, to perform under the lights, and to show off all of your training and progress, right? So the last thing you would want is for the in-season, off-the-field training to affect your training on the field. Because at the end of the day, to get better at your sport and to perform well, you gotta practice and play that sport, right? So less volume, less soreness, keep the main thing, and that's actually playing the sport. So for example, in this warm-up, every drill we have done before in the past and the recent past as well. And a specific example is these banded sprint mechanics drills at the end. Those traditionally would be in the actual workout itself, but because the shoes are off and it's in the warm-up, the outputs are going to be a little bit lower, so it's not as taxing. As well as doing it in the warm-up, there's going to be a few less reps because I'm trying to get through the warm-up, right? Versus if it was in the actual workout, we would do maybe 20, 30, 40 more yards if we're actually moving forward versus a super quick, high quality banded in place sequence. So small things add up positively by actually taking some things away, keep it consistent, to keep the soreness down, to keep the volume down, and keep the main thing. Number two, the goal of maintenance or maybe even gaining. And this is not to go into every session being like, oh, I just gotta check the box, I just gotta maintain it, right? It's the body works on a use it or lose it principle. So here's a cringy analogy, but I think it makes sense. So let's say you're preparing for a hike, a big hike. You prep your food, you prep the tent, you prep your clothes, and all of this stuff for 1, 2, 3 weeks. And then it comes time to actually do the hike, go up the mountain and camp. Well, you decide not to bring the stuff because it would make the hike harder because you have to carry all this extra stuff, it's heavy. But then when you get to the top of the mountain, well, you just have to start all the way back over again because you didn't put in that little bit extra effort along the way of the hike, bringing that stuff with you. It's kind of like, what was the point of doing all that in the first place, right? The last thing you would want as an athlete is to bust your butt for 3, 4, 5, 6 months training off and preseason to make all this progress, and then because the body uses it or loses it, you lose it after 3 months of being in season, and you have to start basically back over again, right? So, for example, with our top speed work, as I'm a speed coach, and this is a speed training session, Charlie Francis, world famous speed coach, says that 95% or better or faster relative to your PR or your personal record for a certain sprint test is fast enough. It is a high enough intensity sprint to maintain your speed, because speed has the shortest training residual of all of the biomotor qualities. So basically 5 days plus or minus 3 days, 1 week, we like to say, you use your speed or you lose it. So knowing that we're trying to keep the volume down, we're trying to keep it consistent. So my athlete, hurdles are a very good drill for him. We just did 3 reps of that. We did 1 build-up fly, and then we did 2 actual fly 10s, running as fast as we can, but just trying to hit that 95%. So 6 total reps, checking off that speed box, maintaining, and this was actually very close to PR for him, and just a super high quality top speed stimulus. Last, what do you need / what are you missing, or what do your athletes need? What are they missing from being in season and not having the training consistency or the frequency that they had off and preseason? So I talked about the Charlie Francis 95%, super high quality speed stimulus. That's what they're missing. but also within that is just really good technical work. So in this example, it's a combo of what do they need and what are they missing. So high quality acceleration work, as well as very intentional, specific crossover work for the steal start. So imagine an athlete leading off first base, they're facing home plate, they have to turn 90 degrees to the right and then sprint. So just 2 sets, very simple. 2 to 4 reps of our banded one steps, contrasted with a 10-yard sprint, 2 of them. And then we do all of that for 2 rounds. So it's giving them what they need, but also what they're missing. Because what is in season? A bunch of practice, a bunch of games, and basically a bunch of junk volume, right? Everything is this like 70 to 90% speed, fast, but not truly fast, a bunch of reps, just long practices, games where you might or might not get a lot of reps, and you're just missing that super high quality, super technical kind of reset that is the value of training in season. So hopefully throughout the course of this video, I gave you some specific examples, as well as some main themes and concepts and principles to take with you when you start training in season, because you should. Happy training.